Yesterday, I was at the Italian Fest and walking down Main Street. And as I was walking down Main Street, I happened to see the bully from my first grade. I was like, wow, you wouldn't believe what torture that bully put me through and how angry and upset I was. And so what I did was I came up behind him, pushed him, and threw him to the ground. And so then he looked up at me with eyes wide and said, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," and ran off. And I was like, well, wait a minute. If I'm 50 years older, he would be too. But isn't that kind of what we do when we are unforgiving? I mean, let's do a little more serious and realistic scenario. I had a friend telling me the story about what happened to her when she went to this dinner fundraiser. And at that, there's mostly older people, 60 plus. And she got placed with a bunch of people she never even knew. And as she's sitting there, an acquaintance came by. She said hi, and that's it. And no sooner did the acquaintance get beyond earshot, then one of the persons at the table said, "That boop," and was ready to start telling about all the things that they had done wrong. And my friend said, "Hey, wait a minute here. A, you don't even know me, and you're about to say all these horrible things about this person. B, you're old, just like I am. And yet you aren't letting this go. You're willing to say and live in the past of something that this person did to you years ago. And finally, I just don't want to hear it. I'm here for a meal." And it put it an end to that. The first reading says, "Wrath and anger are hateful things, yet the sinner hugs them tight." And I was thinking about that. Hugging, if I hold you in a bear hug, if I'm holding you in a bear hug, I'm having to spend all my energy and effort holding you in that bear hug. And as I'm holding you in that, I can't see anything else because I'm really holding you as fast as I can. And as I'm holding you in that bear hug, I cannot move because I can't let you get away. And as I told the story about the bully in first grade, I'm keeping that bully right there. That bully is now 50 years older. He could have won the Nobel Peace Prize. And yet I still hold them in that same little child. And I froze myself as the same little child as well. The people that my friend went to, again, same thing, only a little bit older, holding themselves way back, however many years ago this thing happened, and still not being there, frozen in place, not able to move forward. And so Jesus Christ tells us of this parable of forgiveness. It is only through forgiveness that we let go that anger and hate from that bear hug we have a hold of it. It is only then that we can move forward. And let me first stress that forgiveness is not reconciliation. You lied to me, and I can forgive you that, but I might not ever want to trust you again. You steal from me, again, I can forgive you that, but I don't want to trust you ever again. It's only if I try to build the relationship back of trusting you with my money and believing what you said, that would be reconciliation. But he's talking about something different. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is saying that, yes, I was wronged. And yes, I can do something about it. I can exact revenge. I can talk to you about it, and I can do whatever. But I choose not to. I give it up freely. And this parable about this man who owes this debt, and this man has no way of paying it back, and then is forgiven. And then turns around to his fellow servant who owes him a much tinier, not even a rounding error debt, and then will not let it go. Jesus isn't talking obviously about money. He's talking about the sins that we hold towards each other. And if I start tallying up the sins that I've been forgiven in confession, It would reach out to the heavens. And if that's true, then why am I so angry and upset if somebody treats me a little poorly, if someone talks evil about me, or someone contradicts me, or whatever it might be, instead of just saying, I will let this go and not allow it to rule my life? But as I'm telling you about this forgiveness, there's too many times we just talk, well, I'll forgive him, no big deal. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's fine. No, forgiveness costs, because forgiveness means that there has been something that has been done to us. And as I reflect on what Jesus Christ has forgiven me of all my sins, it is not a nothing that he forgave me. He took it all to the cross and was crucified, suffered and died for my sins. That is what forgiveness cost for me. And as I look around to the other flip side of saying, okay, you did something to me, whatever it might be, to forgive you, I liken to swallowing glass. It's hard because it costs me just as much something too. It cost me in my pride. It cost me in my desire for revenge. It cost me to go on the cross with Jesus, to offer it up, to say, I will let this go and be sacrificed in order to rise to new life and to not be held down by my hatred once again. I think of it in a personal story of mine. The second year of my seminary was a horrible year. And if I really wanted to get up here for the 6 months after that year, whenever somebody talked about seminary, I would just go ballistic. I would be like, blah, 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 blah. And if I was doing that today, it'd just be, come on, Mike, stop. Well, one day I finally blew up, and then I just said, what am I doing here? Why am I getting so angry over something that I can no longer control? And I first realized it was my denial of what had happened and how angry I was about it. And the second was to just let it go, saying, I accept the cross, I accept that I'll never get justice, I accept that nothing will ever change, I accept what happened, and I will just give it up and move on. That's where I felt crucified. But as I did so, I realized that Jesus in his resurrection still had his wounds, and those wounds were transformed. He still had the marks of the nails in his hands, the wound in his side, and yet they're transformed. And I found that through forgiveness, those wounds that I have can be transformed as well. They're no longer a source of anger and resentment that I hold in a bear hug. Instead, they can be a source of blessing. To take and receive forgiveness and to give forgiveness, then I knew what it is truly meant to be forgiven. And I can then be a disciple of Christ because I have let go of that anger and resentment.